Hi, watching NewsX. My name is Vineet Malhotra, and while a lot has been said about the Trump-Modi bonhomie today, a less talked about aspect is the special attention that has been given to the first family of the United States of America. From hailing First Lady Melania's Be Best social welfare initiative in front of lakhs of people to fondly remembering his last interaction with first daughter Ivanka, PM Modi ensured that the first family was not left out. Now, why is it important for the USA's first family to hold us in good stead? This isn't just a matter of a common courtesy. Donald Trump's family also comprises his closest advisors, Ivanka Trump and son-in-law Jared Kushner, and they're both senior advisors to POTUS. As First Lady, Melania accompanies Trump on all major foreign visits and is a major factor in how the success of a bilateral visit is measured up. All right, well, there you see it, and this is how they were made to feel important. In Ahmedabad, it was not just Donald Trump, but there were Melania posters as well. At the airport, there was, of course, a greet and meet, stress laid upon the first family as well. And at the Sabarmati Ashram, right there at the bottom of your screen, you could see Donald Trump and the First Lady signing up that visitor's book. And there you have it. In Italy, Melania Trump refused to hold hands of the President of the United States, while in Taj Mahal, Agra, you could see the couple holding hands and walking hand in hand in front of the global love monument, which is Taj Mahal. It's perhaps the Taj Mahal that brought out the love the love once again. Yeah. Between the two.
He sold the Taj Casino.
But given the equation in Modi and Trump, I'm surprised Modi was also not part of this visit. He said...
somewhere he will give them the space, and they love privacy.
Yes.
This is more of a private visit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but it's, as we were saying, it's more private,
it's more of a private
chemistry.
Visit.
Right. Okay, let's talk about this. What does this mean? These are, of course, nuances of any bilateral relationship between two countries, but this is not any other country we're talking about. It's the largest democracy versus the oldest democracy. Joining me in the studio is Sumit, political analyst, Priya Sehgal, our senior executive editor. We're also joined by Mr. Manish Pandey, who's the editor of ITV Network. Sumit, let me come to you first. It's important to realize that Donald Trump has advisors and they are his family members. Of course, he faced a lot of flack back home when he chose Jared Kushner, when he chose Ivanka Trump as members of his cabinet. But later on, all of those admonishments perhaps were put to rest because of the kind of work that Jared Kushner did, as well as what Ivanka has been doing for the longest time.
I think we need, let's face the fact, you cannot influence the president's choice of advisors. He has chosen whom he thought he was fit, and they proved their mettle. Now, in this current perspective, you're handling two things. One is there are his key advisors, and there are also his family. What Prime Minister Modi did smartly, he merged the two. Rather being seen, kind of giving too much of importance to his advisors, he made it more of a family show and say, okay, we welcome all of your family here. Ivanka had been here before. We had that entrepreneur summit in Hyderabad. So this all was recalled, and she's running very famous fashion brands over and above that. And, they have a circle of influence in the US diplomacy. They have a mind share of the president, so it would be very smart to engage them proactively, right? Because there are three kinds of situations you can have. You can have people working against you, you can have people neutral, or you can have people working for you. The best situation is the third, when you have people working for you, because you are able to generate an X amount of influence on the mind space of the president, which fortunately or unfortunately a lot of people don't have access to, because these people come with that trust. So they are advisors who are related and who come with an X amount of trust. So if you get them on your side, it will be definitely a diplomatic advantage to you. I don't see any reason why we should not be doing it.
All right, Bhaswati Mukherjee, former diplomat, also joins us on the broadcast. Bhaswati Mukherjee, appreciate you being here. We are talking about Melania Trump and Ivanka Trump, and the fact of the matter is that in an outreach or in a gesture to woo or maybe impress the first family, we have gone out and included them in this propaganda to welcome Trump. Do you think that's a very cool move, for the lack of a better word?
a cool move. It's something that we do sometimes in the External Affairs Ministry, particularly because Ivanka and her husband are also advisors to Donald Trump. Somebody asked why PM Modi had not gone to Agra. The answer to that is that according to MEA protocol, Prime Minister does not accompany a visiting head of state on a private visit. That responsibility is given to the Chief Minister, who was there. Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh was there to receive President Trump when he got off the aircraft. I think that our Prime Minister went a very long way in making the first family feel very welcome in India, and he said in fact in Ahmedabad that he was very happy to be able to return the hospitality that was shown to him by President Trump and his family, and the welcome that they gave to the Indian delegation. So it was India's way of saying thank you. So I think it's perfectly normal. There is nothing to comment upon, except to say that it shows that we have been able to establish a personal chemistry between the head of state and government of US and India, and that is a very, very good thing for both countries.
Right, Manish, in fact, it is our aggressive diplomacy, it is our muscular outreach that perhaps you would concur that differentiates this dispensation from the ones that we have had in the past?
I would say it's more of a we were discussing just before this program, that it's more of a protocol-free friendship.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
It's both the leaders complement each other. They both love pomp and show. One is the showman, the other is even tries to, and that guy, the US president, and even in the US functions and all, you hardly get this much of reception.
Yeah,
the maximum in the primaries and all, you have 20,000 people. If they are holding the flags in the debates, election debates, it's too big. He has already shown him the trailer during the Howdy Modi, and he was zapped. When he was taken for that lap in the stadium, he agreed, but this is such a message which was given. So here he has given him the complete film.
Yeah.
And he will be taking back those memories. So these people talk about when he goes back, he will talk, he will share the pictures, and he will already, like he was already, whoever who was with him was tweeting in Hindi and all that, मैं flight में हूँ और रास्ते में हूँ आ रहा हूँ or whatever it is. But this is a great pomp and show which the director Modi has actually made the film so well that till tomorrow when we sign all the deals and all 50 plus deals which we have to sign, and he goes back with his bag of booty and we come with our symbolism which we have to showcase to the world and also to South Asia and to our immediate neighbors that look, this is what we have got.
This is what we've got.
So this is something, this diplomacy we have not seen. India and India at the same time is advocating freely and pursuing freely its multipolar diplomacy, for which he has not raised any point so far. Let's see. Let's hope so that all that freedom is given to India. Yep.
Right, and
Yeah.
in fact, Priya, let's talk about Ivanka Trump. Donald Trump may be taking care of the United States at a macro level when it comes to policy, when it comes to administration, but she is the real mover and shaker when it comes to opening certain doors for him, negotiating with senators and governors and mayors all across the United States. And in fact, she usually lands a few days before her father and scopes and does a recce of that area whenever he's supposed to visit. It's not something that has been done perhaps in India's case, but she is one
But
of the
here
primary.
we didn't know she was coming till
Yeah, we didn't even
later
know that
minute.
she was coming.
Manish, you want to come in, then I'll make my point.
No, I want to just add what Vineet is saying. She is actually the backroom architect of
Correct.
this friendship which started from Global Entrepreneurship Summit in Hyderabad.
In
She has
2017.
been pushing the India image to this businessman president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she is the one who takes a lot of calls, and she's the one who has actually coordinated, right?
But
from
his original question, the fact that why did he signal her out? Why did he signal the family out so much? Which is very interesting, because all along we've been hearing Prime Minister Modi in his domestic politics say, I want the family out. What is this whole thing about Congress is vanchva? I know you don't agree, but let me make my point. There is this whole vanchva thing. Here you have the whole family into the government. Prime Minister Modi is endorsing it as you cannot interfere in other countries' appointments. I agree, but I'm just making a point here. Secondly, why didn't Prime Minister accompany them to Agra? That was made in a lighter vein, you know, the whole thing that I know there is protocol, but as we were discussing, this is an equation that surpasses protocol. The point is that, you know, given their great friendship, why didn't he go there? That was a simple, it was a lighter point, it wasn't a serious one. But given the fact that this is a friendship where protocols are being thrown to the wind, it is interesting to see that, you know, what is going to come next. Can he use this protocol and the friendship and the chemistry to something more than just symbolism? Manish made a very important point. He's going to go away with his booties and we are going to walk away with our symbolism. Is that enough? Is my question.
You also said something about the Gandhi family. You want to complete that, Priya?
No, I just said that when he's been attacking the Congress and you know, for promoting the whole concept of family, he's here endorsing someone's family. In fact, the fact that the whole family, entire family is part of his advisors. He's
So Parivarvad is
okay with Trump and not okay with Gandhi's. But that, you know, he cannot tell Trump what to do. I know if you're going to make that point, I get it. But the point is,
But
Okay,
Priya,
so all right, okay.
I will add one thing.
yeah.
World's top global family, first family, most powerful first
I would
family.
like to come in here, please.
okay. All right, just
Yeah.
a minute, Miss Mukherjee. Just a minute, Mrs. Mukherjee. Just a minute.
So, world's first family, I will say first family because it's the most
Yeah, I
powerful.
say it. Huh?
They come to a house, the entire family. Isn't that a big message?
Big deal.
And Prime Minister Modi, beyond his political thing, he is very personal when he is hosting.
Yeah.
I'm
In
okay with it.
hospitality,
I'm just
in
pointing out-
hospitality, no one can match him because I've even heard that he even knows the taste of that particular person, that what he likes and that he arranges on the table.
Okay.
Broccoli
All
and samosas.
But that always
Whatever it
helps.
is.
That always
I
helps when
wonder
it
who
comes to
likes that.
forging
And,
friendship.
and coming on to the Vanshwa thing which you said,
Okay.
the thing which you said, this is his, I will say the core group which he is confident about, but he is not asking them to run elections.
Correct.
It's the pure business thing he believes in. He has very few friends
Absolutely. Yeah.
outside White House also.
Okay, Basmati Mukherjee wants to come in. Go ahead, Basmati.
I wanted to, first of all, I would first of all like to, I can't see who is the lady who's made these comments. But I first wanted to say protocol has not been thrown to the winds. There is no comparison between President Trump bringing his family here and us welcoming him and any comparison to the Nehru-Gandhi family, because that is dynastic politics and I am not aware of President Trump's father, grandfather, etc. being involved in US politics. So I think it is very misleading to make these kind of statements on national television which can be severely misunderstood by an international audience. There is no comparison at all between Indian dynastic politics and President Trump bringing his family members here for a state visit to India. Secondly, there is no question of the Prime Minister of India accompanying any Prime Minister of India, accompanying any head of state on a private visit to any part of India. That is completely against protocol and it is not permitted. It will never be done. So there is no question of protocol being thrown to the winds. How come such statements are being made here?
Excuse
Under
me, you're
what
misunderstanding my
basis? Where are the
statement. I
facts?
said it was made in a
Please show me
lighter
the
vein.
facts.
You're the one who's taking it to the logical end. I take your point about Trump's
No,
family
you can't
coming in.
make
but
lighter
not-
way. You can't make such statements. I'm very sorry. There is no such thing as lighter vein. What do you mean by lighter vein? You're talking about the Prime Minister of India. You are mocking him on national television.
No, I'm
Okay,
talking
I
about
don't
his
think-
personal chemistry with
All right.
At
Donald
a time
Trump.
when we're having the US President here on a state visit. I don't think you have the right to say that.
Okay, Basmati Mukherjee, I don't think there was any attempt by Priya to mock anyone there. Sumit, come in.
I think, Vineet, let's face the fact that Ivanka and her husband, they might be Trump's daughter and daughter-in-law, but they are key members today in the US government. And the people of US and the world are okay with them. We have not appointed them, neither did we push them. It's the president's choice and they have done a commendable job. That's point number one. They are accepted in the world diplomatic circle, so we are no exception to that. So if the whole family comes, it's what Maniji said, it's good for us because they regard this visit as so crucial. And if my brothers of Indian diaspora can control 16 states and decide the election of US voters, that is the rise of Indian in the US, which makes me happy. Now, as far as going to the Agra is concerned, you say we know this trip was insisted by the First Lady, that's why this was in the agenda. Now, The Taj Mahal is a monument wherein they went on a personal trip, and the Ivanka and her husband also were, they were on the broadcast when it was happening. So they did it, and on a very, very personal note. This was not recommended by the Prime Minister of India. This was not neither stopped by the Prime Minister of India. So if a person comes here, let's say if I go to US and I want to see a US War Memorial or a Smithsonian Museum, I cannot expect President Donald Trump to accompany me. Point number 3 is when this whole thing happened here, he said 1.25 lakh beating hearts are solemnizing the Indian-US friendship. These kind of audiences are not there in US, and he made a very pertinent point. He said that out of all the people in US, every 4th person comes from this state is Gujarat. So he was also a direct connect to there. So President is also making his speech. And you know what I liked? He is now for the first time in last 70 years somebody has come to Indian soil and acknowledged a Gujarati brother of ours in United States of America is a game changer. He matters. He's not like from Syria, Sudan, Bangladesh, all of them who are 1 in millions there and who do not matter. So it's good news that we are really mattering. It's not important, we need for us only to be CEOs. It's very important for us to come in politics, to be congressmen, to be senators, and if we can be a key vote bank or a block in the US elections, nothing like that. It's good news. That talks about our increasing वर्चस्व. हमारे बढ़ते हुए वर्चस्व का ये प्रतिबिंब है, हिंदी में बोला जाए तो.
Okay,
क्या
all right.
बुरा है भाई उसमें?
All right, Manish, you were there for the Howdy Modi event, and when it comes to standards of hospitality, how do you compare the two?
No, this is something like Modi playing on his own turf. And there also in an alien land, when he hosted the president there in the stadium, because his domain, his jurisdiction was the stadium.
Yeah.
So the crowd build-up and the management and the aura which was created, and after that, within the space of 3 days or 6 days, they met twice for their meetings and all. So the mood and the tempo was something unprecedented, which we had not seen. That was and first of all, that was the biggest ever Indian-American meeting at one place in the US.
And he
You
said
had
one-
not seen 50,000 Indian Americans
Come to a
assembling
place.
from, and not from Houston,
Everywhere.
from everywhere, and they were coming. In fact, we in India, people go to rallies, and we know how those rallies are managed at times, and the cost and all. Who bears the cost? A person sitting next to me going from DC to Houston, and I asked him that, are you from? He said, I'm from Virginia. And he said, but why did you come all the way from Virginia? I said, I came to watch Modi. And who paid for it? I said, I paid.
And you know,
So
But
those
that is
things.
Modi's aura at the end of the
There's
day.
one
That is
important
not.
point
So
he
what
made
we are
there.
discussing, what we are discussing,
Yes.
we are
What are we
discussing,
discussing?
we are discussing about the same thing, the pomp and show, which he tried to manage, and he gave a clear message there. कि From Los Angeles to Ludhiana, I am there.
yeah.
From Silicon Valley to Greater Kailash, I am there.
I mean, there's one
So
important
how
point.
is
Manish,
that
why-
Modi's aura helped? It's helping Trump right now to get his Indian diaspora there. How is it helping us?
No, madam, you are mixing politics with diplomacy. On the diplomacy front, what India has got a status right now, I have not seen that
in last 70 years.
in last 70 years.
You're knocking down Clinton coming after the nuclear deal.
No,
You're-
I'll make a point.
You're also knocking down the nuclear deal.
Oh,
No.
that way we to knock down we knocked down the US contribution in the India freedom struggle in the 40s also. But the thing is, there were tides and shifts and waves. They used to come to India, go to Pakistan and
have
go back
biryani
to
and go back.
fly back to DC, and they used to have both the pictures. And I know that this man has, for the first time, we were talking in the previous session about that he's treating Pakistan with a kid glove treatment he's giving. But he's also the one who has blatantly and slammed Pakistan in the harshest of the words any US president has used.
But it's
I
still
mean,
continue.
he used the word Islamic terror, which nobody used before. And you know, there's one more important point. We need last time President Trump and Howdy Modi said, I have for the first time seen a foreign prime minister or a leader pull so much of crowd in United States of America. That's the point number. That is the length and breadth. And therein, what happens with these kind of meetings, you stamp yourself as a global leader. Now, President Modi, Prime Minister Modi's influence is not only in India. When he goes to US, he can do a Howdy Modi. He can get 1.25 lakh people here. So, what does it talk? Is the increasing what aura of an Indian president, which is the largest democracy in the world. So, that is something which all we India should be proud about. So, I find nothing wrong in there. It is something which we welcome. And as far as business, I have given you a lot of numbers from 96 billion to 165 billion in 6 years. positive trade flows of $25 billion, right? Biggest exporting market to India is US. One of the 10 FDI contributors is US. 25% of FDI comes from there. Biggest multinational investment of companies is in India, and all the American businesses are doing fine. 40 million Indian American diaspora, one of the highest repatriating countries is US. So I can give you a lot of numbers which say that there has been considerable equipment, and for the sake of God, when we have a China sitting on our door and a Pakistan, we need Chinooks, we need Apaches, we need all this latest technology. We are now a non-NATO ally of US, so we are as comparable as a NATO ally of US. That is the elevation we have got. Today we have access to all the top-notch technology on planet Earth, but US, as long as you have the money to pay it.
All right, Basmati Mukherjee, do you think that this template of soft diplomacy is going to become something which perhaps will help India a lot more than the traditional modes that we have been applying so far?
I think both have been extremely effective, but you are very right, Vineet, that soft power and the use of the Indian diaspora to push India's strategic interests with the US have been very effective. Now, somebody was saying as to whether today's show in Ahmedabad was just pomp and a spectacle. Actually, I saw the entire spectacle very closely. I was on Doordarshan at that time. And what I noticed was the very emotional manner in which President Trump responded to that 1,25,000 people cheering him on. Somebody said very correctly that you don't get such numbers in US. President Trump was absolutely overwhelmed by the crowd, by the welcome, and when he spoke, he gave a very substantive speech. He cited Vivekanand. He spoke of Sardar Patel. He spoke about how much India had achieved in this generation and how much more India was going to achieve, and that United States was there with India to help India achieve it. So I would not call it just pomp and spectacle. I would say that this was a manifestation of both hard and soft power in an extraordinary gathering of 1,25,000 people, where the US and Indian Prime Minister spoke from their heart, and the US President said that United States was there for India. It's a very major thing for India. As far as India is concerned, at a time when we are surrounded by so many enemies internationally, to have the US President make such a statement is very significant for us. So we should not dismiss it as just pomp and spectacle.
Right, the culmination.
It was a very important political gesture
Right,
that
Manish.
President Trump made.
Vinit, I'll just add on a lighter note.
That's the point I wanted to
I
make.
don't know if he takes jokes well.
Huh? No, I'll just add on a lighter note that what if you hear the speech and what Sumit was saying, that it's not a one-off trip for Trump. He is fully prepared. He has done his homework well. He knows in which state he is talking and all. And if we go back about Mr. Bush, and whose geography is well known, and his knowledge about India, then I think this man has done a fairly decent job.
Vinit, one quick point. One important aspect of today's speech was Mr. Trump talked about all the numbers. It is very ironical of a US president to talk numbers. How many people have been lifted from poverty? How many toilets have been made? How much Indian economy has grown in last 7 years? How much you have achieved in last 7 years? So he gave with all facts, figures and numbers. And he also carefully said what has the Prime Minister Modi done and how much India has achieved under Prime Minister Modi. So this is a blatant admission on the world stage that look, this man has made difference to India. This is what India has come. This is how India has come up for. How far you have seen people from US except talking about those broad line things, talking about facts, figures and numbers in a public forum. Now, it's not about 1.25 lakh people. It's the world media is seeing that. The world media is going to take every piece of that. That also validates Prime Minister Modi's claims. What India has done, because a lot of people in even the domestic politics say Modi ji ne kya kiya. I think those all speculations are put on rest. Where is the development? What has been done? Oh, toilets is not good. How many million people are taken out of poverty? how much we have done on education and how much we have done on defense, how much our economy is. And he said the most important thing, the potential is immense. Where we have reached is good, but where we can reach is unimaginable. That is the biggest thing we said. And the last, I think, want to make a point is that we have to protect our people from Islamic terror, and we, as United States of America, stand with you for that. That's a very important statement for me.
Priya?
Yeah, so I agree with you. They've all said all the right things, but the proof of the pudding is also, what's going to happen tomorrow, what is going to be really on the paper also. Is he going to mention what we've told? Will he bring out the question of religious freedom, or will he not? He said Islamic terror. So will he just let it rest at that, or will he try and temper it with something tomorrow? That is something that we are going to be seeing also at the end of the day. So let's see what's happening. Yes, great. I mean, Modi is someone who knows how to take a moment and make it large. He knows how to blow it up. The chemistry, I think, was there. I disagree with all of you in that the India-US chemistry has always been there. But Prime Minister Modi being such a showman, Donald Trump being a bigger showman, they've just hyped it up to the moment that it is today. It is a good thing, but can we take it forward? What is in it for India is something I would really like to see.
Can I make a quick
Okay,
point?
yeah, go ahead.
Vinny, just one quick point. You see, Vinny, that posturing, semantics and optics matter in international politics, because when President Trump is in India, all media, all the NATO allies and all the friendly and hostile countries, everybody is watching it. Now when he walks there and when he makes these statements, this is how you signal alignments and inclinations in politics, because this is very important. Why do you want to take a picture with a celebrity? Why do you want a celebrity to endorse your brand? Because that his goodwill comes with it. Now, if you have the President of United States standing next to you and endorsing you, so we are sending a very clear signal to the China, to the Pakistan, and a lot of other not so friendly countries that look, there is alliance which is shaping up. There are possibilities which are immense. So this message has to go very clear, because we have wasted 50 years in being those what you call those non-aligned movements, young Turks, whatever you call them, Nasser and all that. But at the end of the day, these people will not sail you through. If we want to take POK and all, we need a very strong like President Donald Trump or the United States to behind us, so that third parties do not intervene. So it's left between India and Pakistan to settle.
What
we have to
happens
take
if he loses
POK.
the election?
Okay, all right. Well, that's a good question. What happens if Donald Trump
India
loses
is the
election?
biggest market. They will have to align to us.
But by
just
all
understand
projections,
everything
by
he
all
said.
projections and all predictions,
He will win.
there's a very slim likelihood that Donald Trump will lose this election, because he's extremely popular and his ratings just came a few days back,
56%.
and 56% approval ratings.
Yeah, 56%.
That is in fact a big
Indian
boost.
diaspora should take the clue, Vinny. They
Yes,
should
big,
make him win.
big boost for Donald Trump.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.